Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. Welcome to State of the Strong. This is a Bull Brand podcast. Of course, you know me, Kamala Migulirai, and I am not alone. I have got my lovely co-pilot, the wonderful, the talented, the handsome.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting for it. Thank you very much, Tira. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Mr.
I'm very
Sibubanza?
good. I am very excited. Our next guest, you know what? I'm not just excited because she's clearly the smartest person at this table, but she's going to teach me, she's going to teach Lerai, she's going to teach all of you a thing or two. Okay, she's a medical doctor, she's a mother, and she's the CEO of Mali's Ice Cream. Some would even call her Dr. Dessert. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the State of the Strong, Dr. Tracy Nelwamondo.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful to have you.
I'm excited.
Are you looking forward to today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the food, but yeah.
Wait, patience.
Okay.
Before we get to the food, we're going to play a game called 60 Seconds of Strong. Okay? Here's what happens. I hand you each piece of paper. You have to get as many as you can. There are prompts on here. So you just read it out and finish the sentence.
Cool.
Got it?
Awesome.
Cool.
We have opened the jar.
My timer is ready.
I need to prep all of my papers.
Hands are warm. All right.
So I need to get as many as I can.
As many as you can in 60 seconds.
Are you ready?
Cool.
3, 2, 1, go.
The metaverse is, I don't know what metaverse is, and I was supposed to be the smartest person here. Instagram is, guys, it's a lot. Eh? Like, I'm tired. iPhone is, why does everybody buy an iPhone every single year? Guys, stop it. Entrepreneurship is, yeah, it's hard. Marriage is, I should have said hard on this one. So I should patience. Unemployment is rough, guys. And South Africa is full of potential. Eskom is ish.
30 seconds.
Amapiano is cool, guys. It's quite nice that we have something going for ourselves. The youth are strong, powerful. Maskanda is quite interesting. Being your own boss is nice, especially on a Monday. Slay queens are slaying.
10 seconds.
David orders are every single man, guys. Why? Android is, yes, I'm an Android person, so yes, that's the one. The future looks really bright.
3 seconds.
Black, Twitter is, that's where I get my entertainment. Strength is, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Strength. I don't know. Strength is me.
Strength is you. I love that. Shall we do a count?
Great. Look at how neat our day is today.
That's
like it's always such a
that's how you actually need to put it. It's like counted in order.
All right.
Okay, so
here we go.
We have got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
18.
How's that,
That's not bad.
18 is pretty good. I would put you in the top 5%. I'm not going to tell you
Is that
who's
your
the
tally
winner.
there? Are you keeping track?
It's me keeping track. It's me with my doctor handwriting. I wonder if she would approve. There we go.
No, we type these days. We don't write.
So, Usi, we refer to you as Dr. Tracy, right? But I really wanted to say your vendor name, which is Dr. Mavungu. Right?
I love it when people say my name right.
I had to practice. We have to practice. I have this thing about names where I think because people mispronounce my name sometimes. And so it's so important because your name is who you are. Your name is your essence.
That's deep,
you know? What does your name say about where you come from and how you were raised?
It's actually quite interesting. What's in a name, right? So Mabungu is my vendor name, but I don't actually use it. You know, when you have a name at home and then you have like a name. So that's what's happening with me. My entire family calls me Mabungu. So even if you call me Mabungu at the mall, I'm like, hey, like you know me.
Your mom's always
yeah. So Dr. Tracy is sort of like a stage name. I like it. I like what it stands for. And you know what, like people are like, no, but why are you deserting your vendor name? But it's not that. For me, it's my mom gave it out of love. And it means a lot to her. So it was the one thing that she could do. or you know how Black families are, how women are not really able to name kids, and so for me that Tracy is, although I don't actually know what it means, for me it means my mom really had a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We're going to get to the Dr. Tracy. We're going to get to the founder. Let's chat about growing up in Venda. What is that like?
That was really nice. Like it's and you guys might also know, growing up these days in like, the suburbs, and it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Like, I'm like, why are these kids on the TV? It's very difficult to tell them to get outside. So I left Venda when I was 16 for Joburg to come to medical school. So my entire life, I still even to this day, define myself as someone from Venda because it made me who I am. It still really inspires me, drives my decisions as well. Yeah, it's home. Yeah.
Venda is home. What about the community that you were raised in, the family that you were raised in? And I can see you had a strong mother figure in your life. What about that informed, the decision of you wanting to go on this endeavor of moving to another city, to another province, to tackle the medical world and not only tackle it, but sort of claim it as your own? And take up that space.
Tackle is actually quite interesting because he tackled me first. Guys, it was rough.
Good to know yourself.
I always think that the medicine it will always be the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I'm sure anybody who's gone through medical school will tell you this. It's not easy. But I remember even when I was in second year, I used to be studying. My mom would be in Venda. I would be studying and then she would stay up with me. Over the phone, just so that she can actually tell me, you cannot quit.
You'll be okay.
Cannot. You have to do this. You have to finish this.
Wow.
So my poor mother, you're right. She's one of the strongest people I know. I think I'll ever know. So she grounded me, and she also had really good support from her parents as well, who grounded her. My dad also played a very pivotal role in me studying medicine, because it was either I study medicine or I study medicine. Those were my two options. Very strong parents who made me who I am. Very strong siblings. I'm the firstborn, but I'm the most childish. So I have a second one and a third born who really are. I was trying a fourth one as well, who's bossy, who really make me who I am. And now also my new family as well, my own family with my husband and my kids. I'm surrounded. Yeah.
Talk to us about coming here at 16. That's what, grade 10, grade 9, grade 10?
No, so I started school early. So I came here 16 for university. First year of medicine, I was 16.
And she was turning 17. It's that type of level. So she finished school when everyone else was finishing, actually, because you had the extra years.
So sort of 2 years ahead of my peers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's incredible. So you came here to start university and you came here alone.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That is incredibly scary.
So what happened after that? I mean, you've graduated now. You're on this journey of medicine tackled me. It's time for me to tackle it.
Yeah.
And not only tackle medicine, I guess, in the traditional, let me not say traditional, but with a focus on Western ways of doing things, but you want to incorporate your heritage, your African heritage into your practice. Tell us about that.
So for me, medicine, science is good. It's, you cannot dispute that. But it also needs to relate to where it's being used.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense that we have recommendations that are not adaptable to where we are. So for me, that was it. I wanted the recommendations to fit the African landscape. And I've done that through food. And that's why I actually have started a food business, because it doesn't make sense, guys. We have such powerful ingredients. And we are not, economically, we're not doing really well. So it makes sense to actually source from us.
Yes.
Not just, import raw ingredients and just assemble. Because we should stop assembling because that's what we do.
Yes.
We assemble.
for others.
Yes, we import from China, and then after that, we call it South African, but we need real South African, so that we don't only heal the physical body, but also the dignity of South African people. Because we've been through a lot. Actually, not only South African, but African. We've been through a lot in terms of our identity, who we are told we are. So it was about time that we actually bring back, the good stuff. That is, when it comes to food, nutritionally powerful, like everything else that's talked about in other continents. So it was all about relatability, and that's where I actually went into food, because you know what? It is actually the one thing that you do most of the time, all the time, that actually contributes a lot to your health. Did I answer your question? Actually,
you did, and I want to go a little bit further into that. And this is, I may be asking for a bit of a personal thing, but I love how it resonates, especially with creating African medicine for Africans, right? And I've had, you guys may have experienced this. I go through this thing where when I'm under high pressure situations, like it's exam season or I'm working a lot, I get sick all the time. I was writing my A-levels and I became anemic all of a sudden. There's always something that happens, and I realized that it's linked to stress, and now I'm always taking medication, and it made me think about, well, what am I putting into my body? And I'd prefer to put more nutritional, more something that comes from Africa, right? That's something that comes from the ground or closer to that. And I started looking into perhaps a bit more of a homeopathic route. And I think when I was reading into everything that you do, it resonated with me a lot, because at the end of the day, you are a medical doctor. You have the expertise, but you're bringing this in. What does that mean for you in terms of, I think, the homeopathic side of it, and how what that means for Africans to be able to afford medical care and, everything that's attached to that?
It's a lot of questions. So my background is in traditional medicine, so conventional medicine. But with that said, that adaptability of, what can you offer, or what can the layperson who's in the village use instead, to, as you're saying, build up their immune system, encouraging them to take the science, because the science will always be the science. And it's actually, the science is actually not new. It's just an interpretation also. For example, if I was to talk about probiotics and fermentation and all those sort of things that are good for your gut and things like that, Africans have been fermenting. We've been doing it, and we've been doing it quite well. It's just that it's not fancy because it's not packaged that way. So it's about time that we bring the relatability and remind people that, our ancestors were really good. They, granted, they didn't actually, forward it and get the exposure and get the time to actually manipulate and play with ingredients like the other continents have, but they really had they really had a good foundation. So it's about time that we pick up on that. So it's our job actually as this generation to say, okay, we have the foundations, now let's pick up on it. So I spoke just on probiotics. That's one example. Whole grains. Yes. So quinoa is sort of thought to be the princess of all grains. But I'm like, no, it cannot be, because we don't grow it. My grandmother doesn't understand what it is. So how do I go to her and say, okay, for your diabetes, because, we need to have whole grains. That's the science that's recommended. You need to have oats for breakfast, quinoa with a salad. She'll be like, who is oats? Because she thinks it's a person. But then if you actually say to mtoro with sorghum, and you can ferment it and all those sort of things, that she gets it. She's like, oh, I know how to do that. And then we get that skill passed on from generation to generation. And that's how, we do it. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you did. I think I'm happy with that.
So Dr. Tracy, I want you to talk to me about going from medical student. After that, you get placed in a hospital, right? You were in Sebokeng, if I'm not... Cool. You were in Sebokeng. How do you go from okay, I'm a medical student. I'm gonna be a doctor there. I'll become a medical officer, and then after that, a few years later, you're now you're that, but you're also now a CEO and founder of an amazing ice cream company.
Yeah. It was quite a long journey. So, as you said, I needed to pay my dues.
Sure.
So everybody needs to go through the same thing.
Yes.
Wherever you are.
Did you get your first
Internship,
option?
Never. Who gets that first option? Like, but it wasn't bad. Because
Sure.
it was, we're getting sort of like, not too far, but the drive for me, because I did the drive every single morning.
From here,
An
from
hour.
this side.
Yeah, an hour. So I did it. But I loved the communities. Wiking was really such a beautiful community. And I learned a lot. So after my internship, community service, medical officer, so I'd been there for about 5 years.
Sure.
I burnt out, to be honest.
Okay.
I couldn't do it anymore. It was a lot. I was just a new mom. Malibong were my first, who the ice cream is actually named after, Mali's. So I wanted a break.
Yeah.
I needed a break to be a mother. I had a really understanding boss. He was like, you know what, I can see it. You're not in the right space. You need time.
Yeah.
And I took time off. And as I took time off and had a lot of time, so that's when, being a new mom, feeding a young boy, I wanted him to have a better chance, because I have really colorful genes when it comes to comorbid or non-communicable diseases, the diabetes, the hypertension, the cholesterol.
In the family,
Okay.
sure.
That was my portion. And I was like, okay, maybe for me it's too late, but maybe for him, if I start him young, it'll be, good. And that's when the exploration went in. I went into the digging in deep into the science again, because I am a scientist, which is actually quite nice. It's a nice background when you're reading something, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
You understand it,
it makes sense. But then the thing is, the making sense of it was still key. So I went in and I started learning about food and learning about how food can actually give you a better chance, because it is, guys. There's nothing that you do more often that contributes to your health than eating.
Yes.
So that's when I actually went into the research, and then I was like, I can't use quinoa. It doesn't make sense. And it was not cheap. So I was like, I'm not using this. What else can we use? And that's when I actually had the conversation with my mom, with my grandparents. And then that's when I actually said to me, what did you guys used to eat? And they got so excited, because there was someone looking into and thinking what they used to do is cool. So that's when I actually went into the sorghums, the marula nuts, the baobab powder, all those ingredients that are actually now in the ice cream. And from the grains, what, as much as grains are good, you cannot feed a boy grains and they get excited.
Yeah.
So I needed to swap it up. And that's where the ice cream came in.
Okay.
Coming with a product that, still resembles health,
Yes.
speaks about health, speaks about all the trends that are coming in that are plant-based, which is quite good, but still grounds a boy to his roots. He has no choice but to learn about marula nuts. And everybody now is also learning about that. So that's how it actually came about. The exhaustion, the time, and then to actually just going deep. And then now it's sort of like 10 to 360, and it comes back to be now the medicine and the food just speak to each other so well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Earlier on, when you were speaking about your influences, you mentioned the generations. And I hear how your parents, your grandparents were an influence in your life. And now you've passed that on and you've created a product that is quite literally in your children's name. But you've created something for them, something that they can right now, like you said, be excited about, learn about, and take on later on. And beyond that, it's not just, this empire that you're building, but you're also doing it and making them focus on health as well as their heritage, where they come from. What do you think South Africans need to borrow from what you've done in your personal life that would enrich our lives and our communities?
I think, especially as young as we are, we really are trying. Like, people are really, you need to be problem focused. Like, we can't all be doing the same thing. And I think that's the one thing that really bothers me. Like, we are all gravitating towards the same thing. I just want us to solve. We need to solve. We have so many problems.
Yes.
In the country, so many. And we're all so talented. And we're all, and you know how everybody now, having an education and being unemployed is not new anymore.
Yeah.
So we actually have really good professionals who can really solve problems. Real problems that we have in the country.
Yes.
Talented people, skilled people. So we have no choice.
Yeah.
I can't remember your question. I have like a
You
answered
it though.
You did
answer it. What can people take out from your journey?
Yeah,
I like that.
I think just being relatable. Like you don't have to all think, and it's not a concentration camp where you have to think and okay, what can we come up with today?
Yes.
Your day-to-day problems. And if you have a skill, if you have something special, we need to stop doing the same thing. We have to.
Yeah.
I like that you spoke about day-to-day problems. I think one day-to-day problem that a lot of people have, a lot of parents have, including in what you spoke about in having your kids eat healthy. So what advice do you have for maybe parents or people who are not parents who are trying to add in more healthier alternatives in their homes?
May I add to what Sibu was asking?
Yeah.
On top of that, obviously, and this is what your life's work is how do we do it as South Africans in the economic climate that we have? And so it has to be affordable.
Yeah. That's
it has to, because it can't be, veganism is expensive.
Yeah.
Everything.
But not
quinoa.
actually. Yes. Not actually.
So tell us about that.
So I think South Africans are the original vegans. Vegetarians.
Yes.
We've been doing it. You grew up with pap and muroko. That like how vegan and plant-based can that get, right? That's the thing. The economy is rough. Everybody is under pressure. Everyone across all spheres. So health is, first of all, you need to educate yourself. Start with the basics.
Sure.
What are the grains? Whole grains are good.
Right.
Second of all, protein.
Is it green? No.
Rice is a grain. Yes.
No, we're here. We're all together.
Rice is yes, actually, let me name the grains.
Sure.
So whole grains. So your maize is a grain. Oats is a grain. Rice is a grain. As whole as possible, because that's where the fiber comes in.
Okay.
So the only reason we want you to eat whole grains, it's not because it's fancy. It's the fiber and also the multivitamins and minerals that are in there. So the fiber, you need fiber, protein, whatever the source. It could be mashonja, guys, and it could be anything. It could be fish. It could be whatever you can get.
Okay.
So that's protein, and then those are just the general guidelines we actually always give to everybody. And then after that, drink lots of water and boil your water because of cholera.
Okay.
So,
that's enough.
well, you might need to boil your water in other parts of the country. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's I love how actually just on cue. Everybody just got their bottle. That was actually quite good. It was like so good. So those three.
Yeah.
And then I think those basics, because you can't, a dietary and eating plan will not be applicable to everybody.
Sure.
So, leafy green vegetables. I forgot that. Okay. And they don't all have to be spinach, and they can be pumpkin leaves, which is something that I really love. They could be amaranth or tepe. They could be blackjack or mushiji. They could be anything. And this just means that it's not just now for the people in the city. It's also the people in the villages who have all this wealth of beautiful vegetables that they can enjoy as well.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? As you say it's a lot of the stuff that our parents have already, like, they try, they read up on, they watch videos, they watching Oprah back in the day, and they see Oprah says, eat this and this, and then they come tell us. And
Mara, Oprah doesn't eat muro. That's the thing.
That's the thing. So that's where the recommendations need to come home. Like, it's not about eat leafy green vegetables and spinach.
Sure.
No, we are. Why?
Yeah.
It's not as tasty as pumpkin leaves. Amaranth is better. So it's about time that South African or African ingredients come into the space and be the kings and queens that they are in the dining room of its people, not exporting or whatever. We need to start home and enjoy that. Yeah.
So how has the reception been like for Mali's ice cream? Like, I'm sure when you started, yes, you have an idea, but you never really know until it's out there, until people are taking it off that Pick n Pay shelf,
True.
How has it been?
Challenging. But the reception has been powerful. Like I'm really grateful. People really resemble, that nostalgia when people are like, oh, the marula nut. I grew up doing that. So you've now mixed with this. It's quite interesting. And I think also the pride of seeing a truly South African product, like not assembled, like truly from helping communities, because our main suppliers are communities and villages where, employment is a myth. They've never seen it. For them to actually participate in the economy, that's powerful. I think also just the trend of veganism really helped us a lot as well. The plant-based trend. It was sort of like, positioning us at the right time, being the right time, the right place. But I think also just what keeps the products on the shelf is the pride of this is African, South African, young black female.
Yes.
And also it's something that I also know. So given a spin, of course. But I think people are just proud. Yeah.
Dr. M, you're a practicing medical doctor. You have got this company that is employing people in places, like you said, where employment is a myth. And you have got your offspring, your beautiful child, right?
Children now.
Children, exactly. Yes, children.
Yes.
And I'm curious to know where to from here. Because you've got this child, these children, you've got your own work that you're doing. How are you going to grow?
That's quite an interesting one. So what is coming now is the brand has grown to sort of like cover different areas or different needs that South African have. So now we've switched. Am I being too quick? Maybe not. We're relaunching a sugar-free version of the ice cream, which is quite good. And it actually also now speaks to the medical side of things, because like now I'm really deep into obesity medicine, where helping people live out this pandemic of obesity in our country. So it still goes back to when I started, when I said to you, my genes were very colorful with the high blood pressure, the diabetes and whatever, were my portions. So sort of like now the medicine is coming in, plus also the food as well. So giving South Africans good options that still speak to the values of proudly South African, healthy, and tasty, which is also quite important as well. Very important, actually.
Yeah, to us, it is very important. If our food isn't tasty, forget about it. Hey?
Exactly.
We have a question that we like asking here on the podcast towards the end. There's a lot of people who are
we nearing the end already?
Unfortunately, it's making me sad. We could sit here and producers, can we have another 45 minutes or so? With that? No? Okay, it's fine.
Said no.
What is your message of strength to Mzansi, to the young people who are listening, whether it's somebody who is just, getting into Wits to study that medical degree, or it's somebody who has done their degree and now they're looking to get into a business, because it's very scary. You think you're a doctor, you're done. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. But there's other things you can branch into that you're passionate about. So what is your message of strength to them?
Strength means trying. You need to try. And you have to give it your all. Like, nobody will fault you if you've given it everything. And sometimes you'll give it your all and it won't work. You need to actually be cognizant of that. And that's when the trying again comes in. So fail fast, pick up, run. If you stumble, do it again. You can't stop. We actually have no option but to keep going. And I think as, the opportunities will not come to you whilst, lying on the couch. You have to be out there, be exposed. Because how are you going to know what problems exist? Opportunities exist if you are not doing something. Do it, fail, but do it again.
The man I want to see right now.
Chef Gaza.
OMG.
Talk to me. You got us some samosas here.
This next samosa.
You made this yourself from scratch?
In the kitchen.
Oh,
Like it.
Chef Gaza, thank you very much.
No worries.
We're going to dig in.
Right.
Okay. And pop a few.
But I dip it in the sauce.
Yes.
Of course.
It looks like a lovely dressing. Can I grab?
Mr. Pans.
Thank you, Mirai. You're so lovely. Do you know that?
I do. Thank you.
Let's get a young dip. You?
Mina ndizokela straight.
Yeah, from the... Okay, here we go. Listen to that crunch.
ASMR. You guys can see that everybody is enjoying it. If you want to have this recipe and many other recipes that you have seen on the Bull Brand podcast, please go to www.bullbrand.co.za/recipe. Sesi mabungu to some, mabungu to others. Dr. Tracy to some, you are an all-encompassing person, and everything that you do is for your community, is for your family. So thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being of service in your work, in your family life, at home, here, sitting with us. I appreciate it so much. And, you know, it's the little steps that you're taking to better South Africa. And that's what it's all about. That's what this podcast is all about. Sibumpanza?
Yes, ma'am. We had a good time today.
We did.
I had an amazing time today. Doc, thank you. Honestly, thank you very much. On my way home, I know where I'm going. I'm going to go get myself one. And the person at home is going to say, why are you eating ice cream in the middle of the day? Don't ask me questions. This is vegan-friendly, low sugar ice cream. Am I right? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, beautiful people, thank you for tuning in to once again the State of the Strong, brought to you by Bull Brand. We will see you guys on the flip side.
Bye.